Yo, what's up, what's up? Can't seem to get Chill Hop to work today, so we're gonna run without background music. Hopefully we will have it back by tomorrow. So we're working on getting transparent objects to render outlines both when seen through and around the transparent object itself. And we're going to continue with that today, hopefully get it done so we can continue with the blobs, but we will see. What's up, Derek, by the way, and CodeCube. And CodeCube, I've optimized my ray tracing system to the point when if I plug an HDMI port into a potato, it should run at 90 FPS. What more can you ask? Great job. Do we have... Okay, this looks like this is actually great. So if we have no refraction at all, we lose some outlines here, but that's okay, as I said. And the hair and eyes are not done just yet. But the problem is, or the problem we left on Friday, is that when we start to refract here, we're also going to refract some of these outlines to the object doing the refraction. So I guess the outlines here should be refracted because they are behind the object. But like these, for instance, are in front, so they should not be refracted. And we can see, what do we have? So here we don't actually refract anything at all, do we? Okay, that's not a very good state we left things in, but let's take a look here at what's happening. Let's open this one up. And let's jump to transparent. Cell shader lit transparent shader. CodeCube, Robin, do you want outlines refracted by the object rendering it or hide the outlines on the back face? It's just that, like, we want to refract outlines that are behind the object, but not outlines that are in front of the object, pretty much. It's just a simple depth comparison. Hopefully we can get it in place. I think it's this one, but like we're using a little bit different depth values this time around, if I recall correctly. But I'm pretty sure it's this one. Pixel depth, because remember, we don't read the depth texture anymore, but instead we write position clip space Z to a texture and use that value. I just don't know how. Let's see, return 1. Interesting. Code Cube, so in the case of the outlines on the monkey's ear, should they be refracted or gone? Those should be refracted. The back ear, these should not. Why do we get this result here? Pixel outline depth bigger than pixel depth. If so, 1. A little worried about this one here. Add an epsilon to the depth. Yeah, we're gonna try that soon enough. Does this look all right? Yeah, maybe it does. Actually, one sec. Pixel outline depth. Pretty much the same. If outline is bigger than 0, then we do scene depth max, otherwise scene depth center. And that's the alpha channel. Is that something I want to keep? What worries me and why I'm not jumping on the just adding an epsilon just yet is that we get some weird, like with the outlines for the character, which is obviously behind. Like we're not getting any refraction on it, or we're getting the wrong. It's weird. Yo, what's up, PG King? Good morning, good morning. Yeah, because we do the same check here. Linear eye depth. So like the idea here is, yeah, if Scene depth max. Shouldn't this one be... Yeah. I wonder, shouldn't this one be the other way around? Like big value close to the screen. Maybe. Let's see here. Scene depth max. Because what I want here is... the depth of the outline. It's actually... Okay. Okay. What happens if we press 0 here? Then we get... then I want this one back. Oh. So if outline is bigger than 0, then scene depth max, otherwise 0. One sec. We don't want to change it here, we want to change it here. And then we have this, okay. Huh. Okay, that's better. PG King, so while we're working on this morning, we're still doing the transparent outline shader for the blobs. Don't know for how much longer though. Yeah, what's up, Antonino? Okay. Totally black here. Does that make sense? I don't, like, this makes no sense to me. Hmm. Those objects. I can't stand low definition of post-processing outline when character is far away from cam. So I chose flip normal way. Hmm. Not entirely sure what you mean. I am having a pretty hard time deciphering the result we see here. So when we generate the outlines, we read scene depth center. So we have previously rendered the depth of an object to the alpha channel in outline data. So we just read that value, and if eventually, if we have outlines for this pixel, we output scene depth max. So we just find the biggest depth, the one closest to the camera. So if we have an outline and we have a kernel of 3 times 3, then we take the depth value closest to the camera out of those 9 pixels. And that's the one we output to the green channel here. If we don't have an outline, we just take whatever depth we had or we have. And we just output it. CodeCube Robin, there's 7 stages to shaders. Currently you're in stage 6, questioning reality. But stage 7 is fully working, so keep going. Hell yeah. Like the optimism. But like, so the idea is, if I set... Okay, I want to try and do this. So we change this one to 0. And then when we output it, we just output this one instead. So before we transform it to linear eye depth. Okay, this is interesting. It looks very nice. Antonina, I really want to learn shaders. Do you suggest any book or video? I have some old links. If you write to me later on, I can maybe I have posted it on my Discord as well. Some nice resources. But take a look at this. So it's 0 if we don't have an outline. So that's nice. We can see the black here. But what worries me is that we're getting very close to 0 here. Maybe that's okay. But okay. And then we do linear eye depth, and if I recall correctly, the bigger it is, the closer to the camera. But yeah, that doesn't really work. This is weird. Doesn't make any sense to me. Depth. Oh, could it be? Whoa, 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 whoa. So with the original depth, it actually works quite well. Ooh, once. Ah, that's correct. Or is it? Mm. So I can see here that like it's What the fuck? Yeah, it's like we always do this one, isn't it? Whoa, one sec. Aren't these the exact same thing here? Here we use pixel outline data R, and here we use outline. Okay, I get it. So it's always like we end up in this, I'm pretty sure. Not always then, for some reason. So let's see. Like, I'm skeptical that we actually get the good values here. That's what I'm afraid of. Like, what I'm afraid of is that this value, this depth value we get from here, so the one we render into the texture, that depth value isn't even comparable to the actual depth value. Well, that is what it looks like to me, at least. Which sucks, but then again, if we do... Looks pretty good, and... Pixel outline depth. I mean, it looks good. Okay. Okay, so that's the actual outline. Okay, I get it. Yeah, and then we pretty much want... I guess we want to add a little bit here. But fuck this, why? Yeah, we want to add it here as well, I reckon. But then, okay, this one refracts, but this one doesn't. It makes no... we're talking... We have pretty big values here because we have depth in view space. So this is more like it. Okay, now we're getting a little bit closer. But this is still fucked. Hmm. Really? Okay, that's something. That's definitely wrong. And the problem being here that like we don't get the outline on the inside of the object here, which is unfortunate. Hmm. Like I'm wondering why we're getting such a big difference between pixel outline depth and pixel depth. So the depth for the pixel outline here. Oh, I get it. Oh, fuck. I haven't really thought about this, but okay. So the problem is that when we render this monkey head, we render the depth of it into... So we don't actually have the depth values for these outlines anymore. Okay. Yeah, I should have gotten to that conclusion much faster. Okay, so like these outlines we see through the monkey head, we don't have the depth values for these anymore, unfortunately. Which sucks. What to do? Can we get around it? Doubt it. Like I'm slowly but surely more and more leaning against the fact that we're just gonna skip rendering outlines for things we see through objects with outlines. Yeah, I think that's the proper way to do it, actually. It's a little bit sad because I love the way the outlines actually look distorted, but yeah, it has always been a little bit too optimistic, I think. Having transparent objects with outlines, but that also see through other objects, yeah. Or having objects with outlines being seen through a transparent object with outlines. Yeah. Okay, so maybe let's skip that part, I guess. So we're gonna simplify cell shade lit transparent. It's just gonna fake transparency, right? So we're gonna use the old outline system. So we're still utilizing the depth texture. So do like this. Render type Q transparent. Let's see here though. This one will be what is it? Both of these aren't the same render type. In fact, I always forget. One is geometry, one is opaque. Render type opaque. So we do it like this. When we data generate, we do opaque and geometry, but when we color, we do transparent. Am I still using the old one? Yeah, so this is how we want this one to render. Are we able to do this? Is my next question. Okay, so we get outlines here. What if we do scene color? Turn scene color. Because if we have... Fuck. I thought this was possible. We want to have this one as geometry. This render pass. Maybe it's not. Okay. Now we're closer, definitely. Getting some weird renders here, though. But now this one occludes the character, but not here. That's great. We don't get... Do we get some outlines? We get something here. That's not nearly as good as I want it. Oh, so in scene view we get pretty good outlines. Ah, we don't get the outlines here. Okay. I know why, I know why. Okay, but I want to fix this first. We don't have any proper... we don't have any proper depth testing. What the fuck? Hmm. Do pass order screw us here? Shadowcaster, we can put this one as opaque geometry as well. But like when we're rendering this one, if we change, okay, let's just make all of the passes be opaque and geometry. Could it be? I don't think so. Really? Honestly, I have no idea what's happening right now. Cell shade lit transparent. Opaque geometry. Okay. So rendering this. Render Q, and maybe. Like, I'm wondering. Uh, because, like, I'm not getting the result I'm anticipating with these different passes. Actually, let's do this. Is it possible to have different... is it possible to have different render types? To have different render type per pass in a... Because in this case, we want this one to be transparent. Antonino, Robin Sable, you're in plan mode, use ask mode. It should flip between them depending on how I state the question, right? Unit supports, you can give each pass its own render time and queue. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Okay, so first of all, we don't want to have... But maybe we don't... Or actually, maybe we don't want to define anything at the top. But we aren't, right? Okay, so let's see here now. Color, we're going to do... Color should be transparent, transparent. Blend 1, 0. We're just going to do the default blend. Shadowcaster, I don't care that much. We're going to have opaque geometry now. And then for outlines data generation, we have opaque geometry as well. Which should be the proper way, right? And we can see here now that outline data generation works. Scene does not, because we have render queue here from shader. transparent. If we do transparent, the color works, but this one does not. This one actually renders, it's just that it doesn't successfully depth test against itself here. I guess that's the biggest issue we have. Like, it actually overwrites the character, which is correct. But this shit sucks. So this is good. Do we actually get... Yeah, we get outlines here as well, so that's also good. Except for here. Here it actually looks like in scene view it seems to work. We don't get... it might be that we just override it, that's true. Fucking hell, this is weird. And since we're doing this pass in the geometry, we should... write depth, but evidently we are not.